So me and Robbie actually went back to the place I call the home place, and it's a little spot in the woods that we cleared out with chainsaws. So we immediately thought, well, no sweat's going to be great, which it is. But then we got back there and started looking, and it's a lot of sunlight in that one spot.
Yep.
So we actually ran back to the house just to get some slam dunk because I just like the combination.
Yep.
So this around the exterior where we might not be getting as much sunlight, that's going to do a lot better. And then when you're getting, how many hours, like daylight hours?
I like to see your slam dunk. I like to see it get about 4 hours of sun a day at minimum.
And that place gets, I'd say 5.
Oh, I guarantee it's going to. Yeah. But no, it's going to grow good for you.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's cool, and what you guys will kind of get to watch in real time if you follow the Red Arrow season this coming year is the success that we've had in season 12 just got brought to light. But that was 5 years ago when Kat and I bought the property,
right?
Just a little 7 acres, and it's got a 80-acre cattle farm that kind of horseshoes around it. No ag, no nothing. Pretty good cover in a couple spots, and when I started running trail cameras over there, it was just dinks. Right. I mean, it'd be a 4-year-old pencil thin rack. Just, they didn't have much, and poured the Antler King to them from supplemental feeding in the off season to minerals, which is huge key.
Yeah.
And putting in, I had about 4 acres of open ground, so we would food plot that every year for 5 years, and then I shot 150 plus. And, I mean, he's mid 150s, 9-point, and it's on the show last year, and had 5 bucks on the property that I'd have gladly shot any day of the week anywhere in the country.
Yep.
And so now moving in, we got 117 acres, and we're starting to clear some land and food plot, and that's kind of cool because all our trail cameras that we got right now, we got 5 bears on the property,
right,
and just one decent like 125-inch 8, and then the rest are just there's a 4-year-old 4-point. I kid you not. So
that's crazy.
What you're gonna see is like I got some deer that need to be shot, and then with the minerals and the Antler King and the supplemental feeding that we did in the off season and some of these food plots, you'll get to watch it go from absolute trash to a great piece of property over the next couple years.
Exactly.
Because you're not only going to make your deer that you have healthier and they're going to grow bigger racks, obviously, but you're going to pull deer. If you can have a food source year round, get that deer to stay. I mean, they will. That burns in their brain, and they know that spot is where they want to be, especially during the rut when there's a bunch of does on the feed.
Oh yeah.
So I'm fired up, man. So you'll get to see it kind of live in action over the next few years here.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yep. Well, what else we got, man?
Like our old trust feeds, our trophy clover mix, which is 20 plus years old. Our game changer clover. The difference people want to know: the game changer clover, you're looking at a clover that you're getting about 4 years of growth out of. You're looking at one that will grow very good in a shaded area, sandier soil area, poor soil area. Where the trophy clover, it needs that good pH in that soil. It needs a good sun. I'm talking 6+ hours.
Yeah.
So to get full potential out of it, like we talked earlier, a lot of stuff would grow, but it's not going to grow to its full potential unless you give it what it needs.
Right.
So a lot of people see it growing, they think it's awesome. They really don't know what it's like if they do work that soil and do check their pH and stuff like that. It can be a complete different.
You can get lucky like me, but you can be. It's better sometimes do your research and figure out because it'll save you a lot of time, effort, and money in some cases. So, but yeah, that's a great product. I've used them both. I'm fixing to plant one of these in the yard because I got a bare spot out there that I can't. I've been to the hardware store and got some grass seed and it won't grow back there. So we're gonna see if Antler King
that game changer clover. We're gonna plant that game changer clover.
That'll be the ticket.
Yeah. But no, other than that, like one that you're going to plant a lot of this fall.
Yeah.
The barricade, which is our shield type blend.
Yep.
3 varieties of sorghum, grows 8 foot tall, grows fairly fast, as long as Mother Nature treats you right. And it's just, this little bag right here will actually cover an 8 foot pass, a 1/4 mile long.
That's crazy.
So that's how light you need to seed it. You don't need to seed it heavy. A lot of people want to seed it way too heavy. And
that was something you actually brought up today that is so true, and I made that huge mistake of like thinking more is better. The more seed I can get in this one little area, the more stuff I'm on. But you're competing for nutrition in the ground at that point.
Yep.
Plants don't have the space they need to become as healthy as they need to be, so you're going to get a a lot of little stuff.
Right.
If you plant it way too heavy, you'll get a lot of little stuff for a while, and then it could even wilt and get messed up.
And the way to look at it is if you go out there and you check your soil and you got a 7.0 pH, you put 300 pounds of fertilizer down per acre, you give it exactly what it wants. Say that trophy clover, and you go and plant it, half the time as much as what you should. You're going to get some growth out of it. A lot of it's going to wilt over. It's going to starve. Well, you take the guys that don't check their pH, they don't put fertilizer down, they don't do lime. The soil's already junk. It's not going to grow.
And then they put too much down.
Yeah.
So what's a good rule of thumb? So if we're going to go spread this trophy clover today, and we've done our pH and we've got everything's right, as far as broadcast, is there a rule of thumb or a visual thing or a setting that you need to put? Or
well, on the trophy clover, I always tell people put your lowest setting that the seed will drop out of. Usually on any seeder is number 1. So you're looking at 7 pounds per acre.
Yeah.
That means you're looking 450, almost 500,000 seeds in the bag. So I mean, they're so small you can't really see them. The orange coat on ours, the germination coating helps.
Yeah.
But you just want to start spreading and start walking. If you start seeing a bunch of them in a 3-foot area, you're going way too heavy.
Right.
So I mean,
see, back in the day when I'd plant food plots, I'd get so scared. I'd be like, half acre. I was like, that's not even gonna cover my driveway right here.
Right.
What?
Right. Oh, I hear it all the time.
And dude, I'd spread it so thick, and then I'd get another bag. I'd put 4 times that in a half acre, and then my stuff wouldn't grow right.
Right, exactly. That's why.
And
it's starving itself.
That's a great tip. Back to the barricade real quick. This barricade product, I'm super excited about it because for one thing, it's food. It's just really, really tall food.
Yep.
So the barricade is great because, like Robbie said, it acts as a wall. So let's say you have a beautiful, pristine field full of deer right beside a highway. You don't want people shooting your deer. You don't want people seeing what you got. Plant you a wall of barricade right there.
Yep.
Or in my case, I've got a food plot. It's a 4-acre food plot, and I exclusively let the kids hunt it.
Yep.
So it's a honey hole for sure.
Right.
And when we get up in there, a lot of the trouble we had is it's perfect stand location. Predominant wind's always perfect when you're in the stand. It's brushed in. But at the far end of the field where the deer they originate from here, and then they start feeding. And a lot of times we were having a hard time getting them broadside in range in the daylight.
Right.
So what Robbie, we sat down and made a plan, and we're going to plant barricade. That whole end of the food plot, we're planting barricade, and then we're going to cut and direct lanes.
Yep.
So that their travel from the thicket, we're going to funnel them into the barricade, and they're going to, when they pop out in the food, it's going to be right where the kids can get a shot at them.
Yep.
And it's also going to conceal. There's one side of the food plot where we have to slip down, and if we're 15 minutes late, those deer are already up on their feet looking at us in the woods, and that 8-foot wall will let us slip up our tree stand a lot easier.
Yep.
Because we have to walk past kind of the deer's bedding to get there. So, I mean, that's just a very versatile, cool product.
That's one of the best ones we've had out for a while.
Yeah.
It's we always had our perennial shield and bedding. There's a very expensive. Yes, it's a perennial, but still, I mean, these here, you can plant it. It's very cheap to plant, and all of a sudden you're sitting in the stand. Like I told you the other night, it happened to me last year. I planted it, and next thing you know, I'm thinking, man, I wish I'd ran it this way. So this year I did.
Yeah.
So you're not out much money. Where on if you're planting a perennial, you're a bunch of money if you want to change it.
Yep.
So
yeah, exactly. I love it, man. That's cool. And then the last one we got set out for you guys is the Grainiac.
Yep. This new Grainiac block is.
Or Grainiac.
I'm not a big block user, number one, because I live in Illinois and I can't use them. I do have property in Indiana, but until we got this block. And what I like about this block is when I use blocks, I like using them after the rut, through the winter, trying to get my bucks to get their body built back up after being wore down so bad. What a lot of people don't understand when it comes to protein, especially a protein block, you're looking at a block here that has 16% protein, 5% fat. That's all you need. Because, like I was saying, what most people don't realize is too high a protein in them very critical times of the year for that buck when he's run down. You're needing to try to get that fat built back up on him. Too high a protein level in a block will actually burn the fat off the deer. So
I just learned that just now.
It will literally burn the fat off the deer. So everybody's calling me saying, well, I'm looking for a 28 or a 30% block to help my deer out in the winter. You're hurting them.
Yeah.
You're not really hurting them. You're just not helping them.
Right.
Wow. And but that's why
that
I
makes
like
sense.
this
Like a
block so
bodybuilder,
much.
when he's getting a lot of protein and he's lifting weights or whatever and putting himself under stress to work out.
Yep.
Yeah, high protein, low carb is gonna
burn it. Yep. And it's the same way with the deer.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Now if you're wanting to run the higher in the summertime when stuff like that to help the deer out when they're just mostly laying around feeding and stuff like that. But but when you get that buck wore down, don't try your best not to go over 16%. And something in the fat range, 2 to 5% fat works perfect for them.
Yeah.
So like I said, Illinois, where I'm at, I can't use them, but if it was, this is the one I would definitely use.
And see, here's the thing. A product that's especially a product like this is a misunderstood product, because I think a lot of you bureaucrats that end up getting up into a position of decision making within the DNR, no offense to anybody, or take offense if you need to, you don't quite understand what this is all about. It's about making the deer healthier. It's about like managing the herd to a point where you're getting your full yield out of the herd. In other words, we're not putting this down just one time a year so we can be like, I hope I shoot a deer over it. I mean, it's just not. It's not what this full system is about at all.
No.
And so I think a lot of times people get to a position that wasn't their style of hunting, or maybe they grew up in a different system, or they got a different way of thinking, and they don't allow themselves to understand supplemental feeding.
Exactly.
And like what you said, I mean, you just taught me something about it. Like I know now how to better use things like this in the off season. Like Virginia, same way. We can't do it during hunting season, but in the off season, pour it to them, and that's where the food plot stuff comes in for you guys and out there that either can't do it at all, or like Virginia can only do it certain times of the year. That's why you need to have a year-round food source some kind of way for your deer herd.
Well, and a lot of them don't realize like that your clovers, your trophy clover, 30% protein.
Yeah.
You're getting high energy in your honey hole. So you can get the same stuff right here into that food.
Yep.
But this just the deer will just devour it. I mean, it's just unbelievable how they devour it. But they will have it there. You get in a lot of times in that late winter months when they need that high protein here for the honey hole with that high energy. Yeah, it's already gone.
Well, that's another thing too. Is like based on how hard the winter is, or how much browse they might have that year, or how much acorns are falling, or any of those factors. Because of some of our laws, Virginia, I can't go out on my own property that I pay taxes on. I'm about to get political. I'm trying to keep it about the products and all happy, but I really do want to say, like, lean on your people out there to make them understand what QDMA is all about and why we're trying to utilize supplemental feeding. Because I might ride out on my property and go, wow, they've decimated my food plots because the winter's so bad. The browse line is just gone, and the daggone acorns aren't falling. They don't have any food.
No food.
And at this point of the year, I'm not going to get any food plots to grow.
Right.
Me, as a good steward of my deer herd, easily could go out and throw some products like this. You throw them out for the deer to get them over the hump of a bad winter
and help them out
and make them healthier. So I think that's the kind of education that a lot of these people that are just the hard line in the sand, you're not allowed to pour anything on the ground.
Right.
Kind of folks, I think a lot of them are just uneducated.
They are. They're very uneducated on it.
They just don't understand.
That's 100% correct.
So, well, man, I appreciate it, dude. I'm really chomping at the bit now to go get this stuff on the ground. Maybe it'll
dry up,
and we'll get it done. Thank you, brother.
Hey,
appreciate it, man. Yes, sir.